If you want to learn about every time that Spider-Man appeared on TV, be sure to watch the video. Well, hi there, Spider here. Today I will talk about every time that Spider-Man appeared as a guest in a TV show, which means every time that he was in a show that was not his, and maybe a few movies where Spider-Man is referenced. So be sure to stay until the end so you know everything about Spider-Man crossovers on TV. But before starting the video, give me a like, be sure to click the subscribe button and leave your favorite Spider-Man appearance on TV in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and with that out of the way, let's begin! Talking about Spider-Man on TV without talking about The Simpsons is like talking about eating Oreos without milk. It's just impossible, it can't happen. Maybe you already know a few of Spider-Man references in The Simpsons. Maybe this is the show with more Spider-Man references of all. From the iconic Spider-Pig,
Spider-Pig does whatever a Spider-Pig does,
to all the times that Homer dressed as Spider-Man, to the times that even Stan Lee himself appeared on the show.
My spidey sense is tingling.
The Simpsons are no strangers to making references to all kinds of media from pop culture, to the point that sometimes you wonder how did they get away with it. So there is no surprise that this show has a ton of references to Spider-Man. I remember watching some of them as a kid and literally going insane because I saw Spider-Man on a totally unrelated show. So leave in the comments if you ever saw Spider-Man hanging around with the Simpsons. Kinda unrelated, but I remember these pieces of art made by an artist named Martin Lopez. I remember watching this as a kid and they kinda boggle me for some reason, but now I think that they are cool. There is a bootleg Spider-Man figure made of these pieces of art, and I want it so bad, but I can't find someone who sells it. Also, as a final fun fact, the Simpsons have also appeared in the Spider-Man comics. In the Amazing Spider-Man issue 600, there is someone watching the Simpsons on a TV. Family Guy is also no stranger to making references to all kinds of media, having even crossovers with The Simpsons. But today we're talking about crossovers with Spider-Man, and this might be the second show with the most references to Spidey. From the times that Peter Griffin cosplayed our friendly neighborhood webhead, to the times that Spider-Man himself appeared on the show. To whatever this is.
Oh god, I'm so sorry. That's never happened to me before. It's just, you're so attractive and it's been a while.
I'm gonna go.
Not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of Family Guy, but it's nice to see Spider-Man hanging around with Peter Griffin.
Spidey. Yeah, close friends. What's your name?
Petey?
Hey, Petey, do stuff for me.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, you don't like it. You're a fat nobody and I'm Spider-Man.
The Big Bang Theory is a series about a bunch of nerds that like superheroes, so it is not surprised that the show makes reference to both Marvel and DC every 2 seconds. Spider-Man not even being an exception. Even Stan Lee himself has a cameo on this show. But I want to say 2 references that I think are amazing. One is when Sheldon says the speech from the first Spider-Man movie to Amy.
Sheldon? That was beautiful.
I should hope so. That's from the first Spider-Man movie.
And you weren't ready for it.
You said that.
Oh, something like that.
And the other is that in the Superior Spider-Man issue 26, we can see a bunch of familiar faces when the base of the Superior Spider-Man explodes. And those are none other than the main characters of the Big Bang Theory. Robot Chicken is a TV show that makes parodies about all kinds of stuff from pop culture. They are stop motion gags done with action figures. They usually make gags about DC heroes because it was aired on Adult Swim, which is owned by Warner Brothers. But this doesn't mean that they don't make shorts about other media that they don't own, like Star Wars or in this case, Spider-Man. The parodies are honestly hilarious, but the humor is a bit dark, so watch out because this might not be age appropriate for you. Another thing that I want to mention is that for the Spider-Man gags, they used this Spider-Man figure. It is called Amigo, and this figure is a classic. If you're a collector, you either want it or you have it. I'm still looking for one that I can afford without selling one of my kidneys. Matt is another show that makes gags of all kinds of things from pop culture. Matt and Spider-Man was a thing even before the TV show, appearing for the first time in the Matt magazine with the first Spider-Man movie in 2002. But when the TV show aired in 2010, it wasn't long until they started making gags about Spider-Man, and they are just as funny as the Robot Chicken ones. They even did one for Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, which is something. Matt has never been my thing, but I know a lot of people that love it, so leave in the comments if you like Matt. Teen Titans Go is a more comedy-oriented show about the Teen Titans that almost nobody likes, but it's actually one of my guilty pleasures, because this show doesn't take itself to references in the show, where they mention the famous words,
"Just remember, with great power comes greater responsibility."
And in Teen Titans Go to the movies, Spider-Man is directly mentioned.
What happened to all the food? Let's steal some from the Spider-Man set.
And even Stan Lee himself has a cameo.
Everybody look at me. I'm Stan Lee, doing my subtle cameo.
Excuse me, Mr.
With Marvel being owned by Disney, there is no surprise that a lot of its shows make more references to Marvel characters more than ever. And that is the case with The Old House, one of my favorite Disney shows of all time. In the second episode of the second season, King makes a small nod to Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'll deal with it. No one ever said power came with responsibility.
Clearly King never watched Spider-Man by Sam Raimi. Jimmy Neutron was released around the same time as the Raimi trilogy, so they sneaked one reference to Spider-Man on the show. In one episode, Carl gets powers, and the scene looks pretty similar as when Peter Parker gets his powers. Shrek 2 is the best Shrek movie, and this is not up to discussion. And as any other great movie, it pays tribute to Spider-Man. In the opening sequence, we can see Shrek and Fiona sharing an upside down kiss that the first Spider-Man movie made popular. My Hero Academia is a manga anime heavily based on the American superhero comics, and the author, Koei Horikoshi, revealed that his favorite superhero is Spider-Man, and there are plenty of references to Spider-Man in the manga and anime. In the first chapter of the manga, we can see shadows of heroes from Marvel and DC, mainly Spider-Man, Moon Knight, Wolverine, and Superman. Also, one of the background characters of My Hero Academia, Neito Monoma, was inspired on Harry Osborn from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 of all things. And in My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, it was revealed that All Might worked in America sometime after getting his quirk. So it is indirectly mentioned that he worked alongside with some heroes from Marvel. And that the superhero that All Might respects the most is the hero who lives in America who can shoot spider threats. And that is because the creator of the manga said that he believes that Spider-Man is the true embodiment of heroism. Attack on Titan is one of the best animes of all, and I'm cheating a bit on this one because Spider-Man doesn't appear nor is directly referenced in the anime, but there is a comic that was released on the Free Comic Book Day, where the Avengers and characters from Attack on Titan have a crossover. It isn't the most flabbergasting comic out there, but it's definitely awesome to see Spider-Man kicking some Titans' butts. The Phineas and Ferb TV special, Mission Marvel, was heavily criticized, and for good reason. It feels like it lacks a lot of potential that it had. For what it's worth, I think that at the very least, it's fun to watch. It is not a masterpiece, but it's good. Also, it has a Stan Lee cameo.
Hey, Vinny. The usual?
Yep, same old, same old.
And Spider-Man also has a big role in this episode. Plus, seeing Perry the Platypus with the Avengers is epic. So, I think that if you focus on the positives, this might be a really good episode. Amphibia is also another of the greatest Disney cartoons. In the 12th episode of the 3rd season, the entire episode is just a big reference to Spider-Man. Even the episode is titled Spider Sprig. In this episode, one of the main characters, named Sprig, tries to be a superhero like Spider-Man. He even fights a villain that is a reference to Doc Ock. This episode feels like a reference to the first 2 Raimi movies, so it is a great episode to say the least. There is an episode in the amazing world of Gumball where Gumball tries to be a vigilante like Spider-Man, but when he fails, he throws his suit to the trash, making a reference to Spider-Man no more. In the Cartoon Network show We Bear Bears, there is an episode where one of the main characters does a reference to the upside down kiss, but he's kissing a Dekimakura. Weird. Winx Club is one of those shows from the 2000s that no one remembers, but it did have a few references to Spider-Man. It seems that the creators were fans of Marvel. American Dad and Futurama both take place in the same universe as The Simpsons and Family Guy. All of them are owned by Fox, so it isn't surprising that these shows also have a few references to Spider-Man. Also, I should add that Cleveland Show has a small reference to Spider-Man. It isn't that special, but I felt like I should mention it. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show from 2003 has a ton of references, and one of them, obviously, is to our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Next time, let's leave the wall crawling to the dude in the blue and red tights.
You read way too many comic books.
I don't know about other characters from comics that fit that description. The voice of Donatello in this cartoon is Sam Riegel, who years later will voice Spider-Man in the video game of the movie The Amazing Spider-Man, and there is a reference to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in that game.
Pizza with your adopted turtle sons? Can I come?
South Park is another cartoon with a humor pretty similar to The Simpsons and Family Guy, but this one is even more explicit. Same as with the other shows, South Park usually does a ton of references to other shows and movies, amongst them Spider-Man. There are a few and are kinda funny. I used to like South Park when I was a teenager, but nowadays I feel like it lost its charm. Fairly Odd Parents was my favorite cartoon when I was a kid. The 27th episode of the first season, Abracatastrophe, has a reference to Spider-Man, where the main character, Timmy Turner, has the powers of Spidey. Honestly, the first time that I saw this as a kid, I was really happy. It meant a lot seeing a reference to Spider-Man in my favorite cartoon. So that is why I leave it last. This is the best Spider-Man reference, and no one can argue about that. A shout out to Nick Krager, Kusite Cans, Amin, Gojira, Zips, Woman, Interview Show, Lil Sultan, Resident Evil Player, and Chiaban Salam. If you want a shout out in my next video, give me a like, be sure to click the subscribe button, and leave your favorite Spider-Man appearance on TV in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye!